Josh, do you think how long do you think Tibbs will have us in the building if he was a football coach?
I don't know, because I would have demanded a trade.
This football season, Fanatics Sportsbook is where fans play on game day. So Fanatics Sportsbook is counting down to kick off with the $5 million jersey drop. Jerseys are dropping every single day. Just log in daily for your chance to win. It's time to suit up for season opener. This is Fanatics Sportsbook, the most rewarding sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Please play responsibly.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Roommates Podcast presented by Fanatics Sportsbooks, where the vibes are always immaculate, a Playmaker original. Obviously, you have JB, Matt, they're the basic guys, and then we have a exceptional guest with us today. He's a former number one overall pick, a two-time Super Bowl MVP, a two-time Super Bowl champion, and a four-time Pro Bowler. His number 10 is retired forever at both his college, Ole Miss, and at MetLife Stadium after 16 years of being a quarterback for the Giants. Gearing up for another hit episode and season of Manny Cast with his brother Payton. Eli, Manny, we appreciate you coming on this. Jalen, I know. Damn, it wasn't my best intro.
You nailed that introduction.
Jeez.
You nailed that,
Thank
Josh.
you, Eli.
Thank you.
Dang, man.
Thank you.
No,
Hey, you had me at exceptional. Once you said exceptional, that's all, enough said. You had me.
I'll tell you, season 2, someone else is going to be doing these. I gave 25 episodes, Eli. 25.
Hey, you're killing it. You're killing it. It's a staple now. Once you do something 25 times, you're a staple. You're in.
Mm-hmm. There's room for, other guys, Matt, Jalen, room for you guys to, be that next guy to pick up and carry the torch.
Josh Hartborn to do intros.
Yeah, exactly. This is actually one thing I wanted to talk about, and I actually forgot what it was called until I just saw this PowerPoint. My favorite thing, first off, I was a Redskins fan growing up, so I didn't like you really at all.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. But one of my favorite things that you ever did was the Chad Power skit. I think I probably watched it probably 5 or 6 times. I loved Penn State. I almost went to Penn State. It was my second choice. But the Chad Power skit was by far one of my favorite skits I've ever seen.
Oh, appreciate it. That was fun. It was fun for me. It all happened. I was doing a show for ESPN called Places, kind of a history of college football. And we wanted to do a show on walk-ons and just the importance of walk-ons around sports and football. And Penn State still has these open tryouts. So we called Coach Franklin and said, hey, can I come undercover to one of these tryouts and, kind of see if your coaches can recognize that maybe I look a little different. And, so I had to go undercover, the wig, the mustache, and it was fun. At first I was kind of joking and I was messing around with the coaches and then all of a sudden you realize all these guys are trying out to make a team, their lifelong dream of making a college team and walking on. And they're all coming to me because the other quarterback, sweet kid, he couldn't throw that well. And so they're all coming to me like, hey, Chad, I'm running the post corner. Hey, Chad, I'm going deep. Hit me. And I'm like, oh, I'm responsible maybe for these guys making the team. And I got way into it. And but it was fun. And now they're making it into a show. We got Glenn Powell's playing Chad Powers. It's gonna be on Hulu. It's gonna be a series they're filming right now in Atlanta. And so this thing started as an idea, and now it's grown and it's gone viral. I don't know what that that's the word, right?
That is the word.
that is
Yeah.
that is.
No, I just wanted to know, how long did it take for one of the assistant coach or whatever to figure out who, yeah, hold on, this is not Chad Powers.
I think that yeah, there was a quarterback coach there, and at first, I think a lot of these they do this every year. They actually do 2 a year. I don't think they get a whole lot of guys that actually get asked to walk on or asked to join the team. And so I feel like they're, sometimes maybe semi going through the motions. And all of a sudden I walk in, I look horrible. I got definitely everybody else is there is 18, 19 years old. I'm trying to look like I'm 27. I don't. I have the dad bod and everything going on at 43. And so at first, like I ran a terrible 40 time, like a 5.6 or something. I'm doing a shuffle drills. I look horrible. But all of a sudden I start throwing. And that's when the quarterback coach is like coming up to me, asking me a bunch of questions like, oh, okay. Like this guy can throw. Like, hey, what's your background? Where'd you play high school? What's the deal? Like, how did you get to this point? And so they started getting interested. And I started like taking over some of the drills. Like we're doing routes, like throwing routes to receivers. I'm like, hey, I don't want to run that route. I'm like, hey, pal, give me like a 15-yard comeback. Don't go 14. Give me 15 down the hill. It's going to be on you right out of the break. I'm like, coach, I'm going to read this like seam sluggo. I'm going to go 3. I'm going to pump to the left. I'm going to move the safety. I'm going to look at the seam. I'm going to hit the comeback. And the coach is like, all right, it's like your world, Chad. Just like take over the drill. And at that point, I think they're kind of like, what's going on? Like, are we getting like, is this real? Like, what is happening? And so they maybe knew something was up, but they never knew it was me. Like, hey, well, that's Eli Manning. They never knew that. There's just no way you could tell. I don't think, but I think they knew like, this is something weird's going on. And I feel like almost Coach Franklin, the head coach, it was like his way of pranking his coaches. Like, hey, let's put this guy out there. Let's see if any of them recognize that this guy looks a little bit different than some of the other people trying out.
Josh, I know you mentioned your Commanders allegiance. JB, have you aired out your NFC East grievances with Eli yet before I got on or no?
I only said, hey, I'm going to keep my Eagles talk to a minimum.
All right. I got Commanders. I got Eagles. I'm not going to get any good questions right here.
Thank God we have no Cowboys.
Some God. Hatred. Yeah. At least we got a chance to have a good conversation.
Yeah. Actually, unlike Josh, I got a nice video from Eli when we did the whole captain thing. So thank you, Eli. I appreciate that. Josh, I'm still waiting on your.
I sent a nice one second.
No, your first one. Like I deserve like a public one now. Like I've been saying that for like a couple episodes now. Like I need like an actual nice like congratulations like from you. That's all I want.
Yeah.
This is a total hypothetical, Eli, but when you had teammates that were incredibly talented but didn't work hard, what was your how did you go about, what was your solve there?
It can be a frustrating situation. For the most part, had guys that worked hard. It was just like that extra effort. It's just more, it was like showing up on time, knowing the plays, studying the playbook. And that was, there's a number of guys through the years who are super talented enough to be a professional football player. That's why we're there. Talented enough to be a receiver and to get the invite. And I remember, they just they wouldn't know the plays, and they would, have bust in practice. And I remember like in training camp, we had our strength coach was a guy, Jerry Palmieri. He would always do bed check. And I remember asking Jerry, like, hey, Jerry, when you go into this guy's room for bed check, what is he doing? And he would like, he would say, oh, he's always like playing Nintendo or playing video games every time. And I mean, I was there. I was like in my 8th year. I'm still in the playbook at night, grinding over next day's practice, like making sure I have all my checks, all different things that might occur, all going on. And here's a rookie, and he's playing Nintendo games all night. And so there's just like that mentality right there. And that was the frustrating thing. If a guy was working his tail off and he was putting in the effort, he was grinding, he was coming at me with questions and hey, had a few mistakes or busts, that happens and you get it, but you could see the guys where it meant something to them. They were putting in the effort. And so that was just a frustrating deal. If they weren't willing to put in the effort, you almost knew they weren't going to have what it takes to be truly successful and make the squad.
Well, was that question directed to anyone, Matt?
No, I just
Most of the guys that made it, most of the guys you've heard of, all had a great work ethic. All had that mentality of they wanted to be great, and they put in the effort. And some guys you didn't always expect it. Like they didn't want to show that they were working hard or they were taking notes or they were watching film. I remember one time, somehow like my playbook and Plaxico Burris' playbook got switched. Like we sat next to each other meetings. I took his home by accident. And so I'm like, at night kind of go to study and do some work. And I have his notebook and I open it up, I'm reading through it. And like the best penmanship in the world, like these great notes about the DBs that week they were going with, checks that the coach mentioned in the meeting saying, hey, if we get cover 2 for this look, we should check to this play, like little tips, reminders, and like great penmanship, great notes that he had taken on his own. And so, but he was always like, the guy that wanted to sit in the back, act like he's not paying attention, but he was paying attention to everything. He was taking notes. He was, cued into everything going on. And a big part of his success, he knew like the checks before I was making them because he was prepared and during the week. And you saw that guys like Odell, like no one practiced harder than Odell during that time. And, every practice full speed, catches a slant, he's going 80 yards for a touchdown in practice. He catches a hitch. I mean, he might miss the next play. You got frustrated a little bit. You're like, hey, we want to run a slant, like just run the 20 yards, get back. We got another play I want to hit you on, I want to work with. We always had to almost schedule, certain plays we wanted him to run based on, hey, if this play goes to him, he's going to have to need a break. So let's not run it the next play, run it 2 plays later in practice. Pace it all out for him. But you appreciated the effort and the dedication and just the grind, and you saw it in games. It happened. He broke 80-yarders, and he worked hard. And you can, as like all receivers, they're all got a little prima donna in them. They all want the ball. They're all can be a hassle to work with at times. But the ones that grind and work, you deal with it because you see how dedicated they are. You see how hard they work at practice, and you're like, hey, I can deal with the other stuff because I see the work that they're putting in.
It's crazy. Hearing how like long a day is, like a typical week leading up to a game, like your guys' practice days, like what time you get there, how long you're in the building before you guys leave, like it's totally different from like how long we're in the gym, right? And how long we prepare. Because obviously we have games, like 2 or 3 games, maybe
So
we do 4 throughout a week. Or
Right.
maybe even 5. But like, what time would you get there, and then what time would you leave on a typical practice day?
Yeah, I mean, our typical practice days are long days are Wednesday and Thursday for a normal week. And so those days, our first meeting was at 7:45, so I'm usually getting there like 6:45, have breakfast, maybe go through treatments or maybe just as I got older, just warming up, stretching, different things, and then we'd probably finish the day around like I think 4:30. I would usually stay after with the quarterbacks, watching some film, doing extra work, usually leaving like at 6 o'clock. So I mean, it's a full day, like that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a little shorter. You kind of get done around 2 o'clock. And those are your main practice days. Mondays, you kind of watching the film from the day before. You're get a workout in. Tuesday's an off day. So and then Saturday you're traveling or getting short little practice Saturday. But yeah, so a lot of work goes into that one game. I mean, you're a whole new game plan, sets of plays, practices for that specific day. It's so specific to that certain team, that certain style. Some plays carry over week to week, and some plays like this aren't in the game plan the next week because they just don't have as good a chance to be successful versus that style of defense or these certain players that you got to change up blocking schemes. Say, hey, this team's got a great defensive end, so we got to slide our line to try to get double teams on this defensive end. And next week they got a great defensive tackle on the right side. Hey, we got to slide the other way, but not as far to get double teams on this guy. And so there's just it's very team specific and week specific of plays and changing up audibles, changing up things you did the first week. and preparation for the the new style, the new schemes that you're going against.
Josh, do you think how long do you think Thibs will have us in the building if he was a football coach?
I don't know, because I would have demanded a trade. He just sat there and said they were in the office basically for 11 hours. Like, hell nah. Like
well, you're on the field. You're on the practice field. You're on the practice field you usually have like a walkthrough for 30 minutes, and you'll come in and then you'll be on the practice field like 2 hours. You got lunch in there. You got breakfast. You eat most of your meals there. You just don't have dinner. If you want dinner, you could take it home probably from there. So yeah, it's long days. You're in there.
Jay, what's our practice number at 10 or 11?
If we have a game the day before, practice is at 12.
Oh.
If we don't have a game the day before, practice is at 11. Our shoot around times are at 10.
10. So
so many games. I mean, it's the amount of games you play. That's brutal.
But even half, like we'll get there. It's 11 o'clock practice. Get there at about 10. Do a little bit of treatment.
You get there at 10 o'clock for 11 practice?
Beginning of the year, I did. Towards the end of the year, I'll get there at about 10:30. Go get like 15 minutes of shooting it before practice.
I'm usually there like at 9:20, 9:30. Like that's when I usually leave my house around 9 o'clock. Damn, you get there at 10:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30?
Sometimes, bro, it was at the end of the year.
You also have the travel.
Exactly.
The road trip.
The body was tired.
2 week road trip. I'm home every night. I mean, I'm home every night except Saturday.
No, I don't. Do not give him any type of slack. No, don't do that. You get there at 10:30. Actually, make sure we keep this in. Keep this in so Thibs sees this. Okay, I want Thibs to see.
Hey, this. Eli, I'm never late. I'm gonna be there.
True,
I'll be there. So, Eli, talking about like the plays that y'all run for like different opponents and that, right? So I think it was yesterday. It was like a clip of like Tom Brady. He had like all his like call sheets and all that in binders and organized. And then I saw, like, ironically, like a video of John Gruden when he was with the Bucks, and I'm not sure what quarterback this was. Obviously, he didn't make the team, but he couldn't recite the play. Like, are y'all plays that like intricate where it's like they have like 4 different names, 8 different letters, and all like, is it really that difficult?
I think it's gotten better. Gruden was known for having very long kind of that West Coast offense. It was actually I've seen that clip. It's actually Chris Sims. When he was
Chris Sims.
Yeah, when he was a rookie at Tampa, and it's like flip the West right. So I can't remember it. And it's I kind of know some of the terminologies. It's been being in a West Coast offense for a few years, but yeah, it was very wordy, and you almost called out what every receiver was doing. It was like Y stick, X slant, Z this, zebra this, A back doing this. So you almost told every person what to run. And nowadays it's gotten a lot more, simple in the sense they have like code words. You have one word, it tells everybody what to do. And they want to, everybody wants the ability to go fast, to play, speed up the game a little bit. That's how college is going more to that. They have like the signs on the sideline. So you see the sign, the quarterback might say one word. It tells everybody what to do. And so you do a lot more of that, being able to go no huddle and, 2 minute to be a little bit quicker. And, basically you start doing that. And then, the quarterback's like, hey, why don't you just call it that every time? Why do you have to have this long terminology? We're in the huddle forever. We want to get to the line of scrimmage, get up there faster, see what the defense is doing, and we can check plays. If we call this long play, it just takes too long. So it's got a little bit, I think it's gotten better of just, hey, let's say one word, or hey, call a formation and have a word that tells everybody what to do, or have hand signals where the receivers can stay out there. You can signal them, and you can, just make it easier for everybody.
That's cool. Cause we only really had one play this season, and it only had 4 words. So it was really easy. It was just like, get JB the ball. Yeah, it was just get JB the ball, and then like everyone figure it out.
like when y'all have like let's say like into the game, call a timeout, you're gonna have one shot left, and there's like the coach has got the clipboard and he's drawing up a play. Is that like the first time you're seeing that play? Is that like a brand new play, never seen it before, new concept, or is he like, why don't y'all have a name for that? Why don't you say, hey, let's run, Bruin, or let's run Nova, right now, and like y'all have a new play for the week, or hey, this is gonna be. I guess I think of it like if we had a 2-point play to win the game at the end, like we know what the play is. Like we've talked about during the week, or I feel like y'all are just drawing stuff up in the dirt. It's like, all right, okay, let's draw something up. Let's go figure it out.
I think we have plays that like we'll run like after timeouts, like ATO. It's actually never mind. Let me let's not go down that road, Josh.
AFTO.
But like we'll walk through players and talk about players or what we'll run in certain situations. Like we won't really have names for it. We'll just know that, all right, if this is the situation, we most likely will go to this or this. Like we'll have different things out of like, depending on like time and score and situation, we'll have like a play that we'll walk through. So like we know more times than not what we're doing because we have we have the most prepared coach in the NBA history. He has us prepared. We'll have a different play for if we're down 2 with 10 seconds versus we're up 2 we're down 3 with like 9 seconds. Like it's whatever the situation is, he's going to have a play for us to figure it out. But we will walk through it pretty much almost every shoot around. Like we'll walk through a different set of plays and like in different situations. So, but we won't really have names for it. Like it'll just be the situation we're in. We know we're going to.
I just if all of a sudden like we had a big play in the game and our coach drew out the clipboard and started drawing up plays, I'd be like, this ain't good. This is not gonna work.
So Josh, how do you feel about Tommy John's new limited edition camo collection? Pretty swaggy, right?
Yeah, man. First off, they're silky, smooth, and breathable. Plus, they come with a contour pouch to support the voice.
Tommy John is made for athletes and non-athletes alike. They were engineered for those intense workouts, but so comfortable they can be your daily go-to.
It's okay, JP. You can thank me later for putting you on. I'm going to be putting on all of our viewers to make Tommy John your off-season uniform like us.
Sign up for email and get early access to secure the bag with sophistication and style.
JB, the first 2 things I packed for my Euro trip, bro, first off, needed the Mike Nikes. It wasn't much. Second off, I had the Tommy John, bro. I needed it. They was a must for the trip. The breathability, the comfort, bro. I needed it.
That's crazy because I leveled up my underwear and then I became team captain. I'm just saying, you gotta do the math. Get 25% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/roomies. Save 25% at TommyJohn.com/roomies.
This episode is brought to you by Whoop.
Whoop is a 24/7 health and fitness wearable that tracks your daily activity like other wearables. But where it really shines is in its detailed breakdowns of your sleep, recovery, stress, and more to help provide you with personalized insights and feedback on your health.
I've been wearing Whoop for the last 4 years, and it's really helped me understand my recovery and sleep and make sure I'm prepared for when I need to be at my absolute best.
It's not just for professional athletes, though. I've also been wearing Whoop for about 3 or 4 years, and it really helps me stay on top of my health, get a deeper insight into my sleep. It's the first thing I check every morning. It gives you a recovery score based on your sleep and your body's vitals, and it acts as your daily guide for how much you should push yourself in your workouts.
Ooh, I was 93% recovered.
Mine was a 55.
Dang.
But see, that's because I'm pushing my body these days, and you're resting your body. Throughout the day, Whoop tracks every heartbeat and keeps you updated on the exertion and stress you're putting on your body. Then each night, Whoop will give you a suggested bedtime based on your day and how recovered you'd like to be the following day. Whoop can help track it all to show you the positives and negatives of your lifestyle.
Want to try it for yourself? Try Whoop for 1 month free on us and get your health journey started.
What time is it? Game time!
Football season is here, which means endless NFL games for these next few months, and there's no better place to get tickets than Gametime. They make getting all the tickets fast and easy. Go Birds, Josh.
Man, we not worried about those Eagles. We rocking with the Commanders over here, Captain. While it's still warm outside, you can still get into concert mode. Gametime has an amazing selection of concerts that you can score tickets for.
Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets.
The Gametime Picks features is actually mad convenient. The GT Picks tab in each event gives me straight to the top 10% value tickets, and any tickets discounts right at the top.
What I like about the Gametime app is their killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing with no surprise fees at checkout, and your purchase is covered by the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry.
Just download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code ROOMIES for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Again, create an account on the Gametime app and redeem code ROOMIES for $20 off your first purchase.
Again, create an account and redeem code ROOMIES for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Game time.
I will say it's crazy because, like, as you know, just being in the league for so long, it's just going from like different coaches. It changes so much. Like some coaches, like you have set plays that they're going to run at the end of the game. Some coaches, will kind of like draw up their own plays. Some coaches have like another assistant coach that that's really good with, drawing up plays. He'll come up like, this is what we should do, and then we'll run that. So it's just, I played for like 6 coaches so far. So it's crazy to see like the difference of, of like how coaches go through that kind of like checklist at the end of the game.
You're in New Orleans, my hometown, for a little bit.
Man.
Big Easy.
I'm in New Orleans. The Big Easy.
Some good
man.
eating down
Great
there.
vibes. Great eating. I spent a lot of time on Magazine Street. Getting some good food. That was mostly. Was it anywhere else I really went off Magazine Street? I don't know. I don't think so. I had good times in New Orleans. I got a lot of flack. Yeah, I got a lot of flack for my statements the other week about New Orleans, but
yeah, Josh said that he doesn't know a player that was excited to get traded to New Orleans. He said that. So
okay, Eli, I was coming from
when I was there, the Pelicans weren't there, so I didn't like grow up a Pelicans fan, so I don't know what the vibe is down there really.
Yeah, I was coming from LA, bro. Like, no, I wasn't excited. Once I got down there, like as you know, like the vibe of it is dope. It's cool. For us, they embraced us, so like it was really dope once I got down there. But before I got there, I was not excited. I was leaving sunny LA. I was sick about it. But I didn't. It was in a podcast. I didn't go into that much detail, so they were just like, "Oh wow, we thought you liked us here." I'm like, "Nah, I did like y'all. I loved y'all. Y'all embraced me. I wasn't excited at first, but."
If you look up backtracking in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Josh just right there. Just right there. This one.
For me, it's like you can just see, like, if I like this city or whatever, like I'm gonna like show love on like Instagram, Twitter, or whatever. So it's like all anybody has to do is just go through my tweets from like 19 to like 22 and see like all the love, and they'd be like, "Oh no, he actually liked it here." So I'm like,
And what about for both of y'all? Obviously, we're different places professionally. Then you come to the Knicks or come to New York. Would you say that New York is like it can be a little scary? I think just because of the media capital. Hey, you do well, and obviously, the success this year was unbelievable, and to just on that note, I hadn't been to a Knicks game in like 7 or 8 years. I went to some early, Knicks had not been the best team as late. I went to like 3 games this year to watch it through the playoffs, watch it on TV, had the kids watching. And so it was fun. It was exciting and obviously awesome. But like before you come to New York, is there any, as an athlete or do athletes talk about like, this can be scary because if things, don't go well, it's New York and the media, and there's so much, and there's going to be so much. We're going to get talked about no matter what. If we're playing great, we get talked about as good. If we're not playing great, we're going to still get talked about, and it's might not be so good. Is there any thoughts into that coming to New York?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's always going to be in the back of your head, regardless, because of what like New York brings, like what New York media brings to like the sports world. And so I mean, for me, I just tried to hold myself accountable. I tried to say, hey, I didn't play well. I got to be better, and just obviously focus on being better and stuff like that. So I tried to be genuine. I didn't try and push um like fault on somebody else. Like I just took all accountability when I could, and that's all I really focus on when I talk to the media. And then obviously I go out there and try and do my best to help my team win. And but I think for me, I didn't think of it as much once I was actually like playing, once the season started and all that stuff. Like before, like yeah, I was thinking about it. Like what if I fail? Like what if things don't go well? Well, like no, that's life. Like things aren't gonna go like the way you think. Like you're gonna have ups and downs. It's all about how you like bounce back from stuff like that. So um yeah, I just tried my best to not really think about it. And obviously having the teammates around you that are there to lift you up, it makes it a lot easier. It makes it more fun, it makes it better. And so yeah, it's just regardless, people are going to talk about you. So just you can't listen
Right.
to anything positive or negative. You just got to go on and do your thing.
No doubt.
Yeah, for me it was probably kind of like a little bit of the same because it was like when I got traded to New York. At first, like I was like super excited, ecstatic, and then I think I like flew out like the next day or like the next afternoon, and I remember like that morning I'm just saying I'm like I'm about to go to New York, it's about to be fire in New York, and I'm just sat there and think I'm like, but what if I'm trash when I get there? Like, what if I'm just terrible? They gonna boo me and all that. But I think it's always like something that just kind of like pops into your mind for like a quick second. But then, as you guys know, like once you get there and you get into the swing of things, that you guys know, like New York, they're always gonna show you love. But one of the biggest things they want to see you, like JB said, be accountable and like put the work in and put the effort in. And like they love, the genuine, the authentic, player who kind of, blue collar. And so I was like, I know, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I know I always have that in my back pocket. Like I'm not, I might not always make shots or miss shots or do whatever it is, but I'm always gonna have that like, um, never kind of give up grind. And they're at least, they might not like me, but they're at least respected as a player.
JB, he almost wanted to cancel the pod before we started because the New York media was.
Yeah, we had a moment where I can't just say Josh too. It was me too. I had a moment where I'm just like I don't know. Like we knew the pod was a thing, and we thought about it. And then I think we had a run where we just like we weren't playing as well, and so me and Josh contemplated like, yo, like this, we shouldn't do this. And then we started the podcast, and like I think we went on a 3 or 4 game losing streak when we first started the podcast. So people were saying like, stop the podcast. And then we were just like, you know what, like, hey, we just got to do what we got to do. And then it turned out to be a hit on both on and off the court. So it was, like I said, you just can't listen to anything positive or negative. You just got to go with what you're feeling, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. So this part of the episode is brought to you by Fanatics Sportsbook. So Eli, if you can't take the championships out of the equation, say you can't say those, what would you say your favorite memory wearing number 10 for the Giants was?
It's I think the great thing about sports, it's still about the friendships, about the relationships, about the bond with your teammates. That's what you take back. Whether you win a championship, don't win a championship, you can't take back, the training camps and the days of grinding with your teammates and just the friendships that last afterwards. With some of my teammates that still live in the New Jersey area. I see we're raising our kids together. We're at each other's weddings, and so just those relationships are still the most meaningful thing of my career up here in New York.
That's awesome. And then while we have 3/4 of the NFC East covered on the podcast, obviously I think it makes sense to do some predictions. So what does everyone think is going to happen this year in the NFC East? Jalen, I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah, Jalen, you got the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles have lost like 8 in a row.
Hey, we're looking on the future now. We're on the future. What's in the past is in the past.
Commanders, they changed their name more than their head coaches. So
and I didn't think that was possible.
I don't know what's going on there. So I think Giants are looking good. I think Giants are out of this crew. I mean, I think Giants are in the lead.
I feel like we all can agree realistically that the Giants will be the worst ones, and then the Commanders. We'll be like a 9-8 team, you know, and then Eagles and Cowboys are both going to be like
I'm worried
13
about
and
where
4,
Jalen
something like
went. I
that.
feel like he's going to get a jersey or something.
Yeah,
There it
yep,
is.
there it
Knock
is.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Saquon. He's got the Saquon. Stole my Giant. This stole Saquon, and now he's got the jersey on.
This is how I knew Jalen was a diehard Eagles fan, because so we had Tom on the pod like a couple weeks ago live, and I obviously had never met him before. Everything that you hear is just he's like a psycho competitor, right? And like you said, those Super Bowls, like the ones he lose, like they still eat at him. 3 minutes into the podcast, we sit down and Jalen makes a joke about the Eagles beating the Patriots. I swore he was going to get up and leave. I was like, and he actually he pretended to get up, and then he sat back down.
I asked Tom. I said, "Hey Tom, I'm a huge Eagles fan. Right? I just want to clear this before you go up there, and I totally embarrass myself. Can I say something about the Eagles beating you? If not, I will shut up. I'll bite my tongue." He said, "No, you're good. You're good." I was like, "Perfect." So just a little jab in there, a little jab.
Eli, one question I have for you is, you and Jalen obviously, I think, share some similarities in that, like, Jalen grew up in a basketball household, you grew up in a football household, and one of the things that Jalen's dad said to him was, like, if you really want to do this, if you're serious about it, like, Jalen, I forget the exact quote, but he's like, if a teacher gave you the answers to the test, you'd basically take it. He was like, I'm giving you the answers to the test. So I want to hear from both of you guys, like, what it was like growing up in a football or basketball household. Was there pressure? Was there ever a question of whether or not you wanted, like, at what point were you like, this is what I want? And how did that, like, infrastructure around you help you get there?
I think for me, my dad played 14 years in the NFL, but he never necessarily pushed like football on us. It wasn't his goal to create NFL quarterbacks. That really wasn't it. We played a ton of sports. My dad played college baseball as well, and so he played basketball in high school. So we played all those sports. I played basketball all through high school. Played baseball until my junior year of high school, and just love my teammates. Love playing all these sports. Knew football was probably going to be my route. I worked harder at that. I did more camps around football. I was 6'5" and dunked twice in my life, so I knew, like, hey, basketball is probably not the right thing for me at this point. In football, I could throw it well, but my dad's big thing was, he said, I'm never going to make you like go do something, or I'm never going to make you go outside and throw routes, or we have to do this. But if you ever want my help, you just have to ask, and I'll drop whatever and come help you. If you want me to come with your receivers to a throwing session or help organize it, just ask me. I'll do it. I'll coach those guys up. I'll coach you up. I'll help you where I can. But it's got to be on you. You got to want to do this, and I can help you along the way, but I'm not going to force you into something you don't necessarily want to do. And I think that that helped me just kind of find my passion, find my way. And when I needed help on something, I had a resource that was there to help. But I think my dad kind of said, hey, I live my athletic dreams. I live my football dreams. And if you want to do it, I want you to do it, but it's got to be on your terms, and I want you to live it out. I'm not trying to live my dreams through you. So you go do it your own way. You figure it out. You decide where you want to go to school. You decide how you want to do it. And I'm here to help you along the way.
Yeah, I would say mine was pretty similar. I think I'm trying to remember the term that my dad used too, Matt. It was like, he was like, hey, if this is what you want to do, like, I have the answers to the test. Like, if a teacher gave you a study guide with all the answers to prepare for a test, you would look at the study guide to make sure you pass the test. So I'm the study guide, and let me help you pass the test if this is what you want to do. And so once my dad retired, he kind of looked at me and was like, hey, like, what do you want to do? Like, what is, like, a goal of yours? And, like, since I was so young, I wanted to play in the NBA. I wanted to be successful in the NBA. and he said, "Hey, I'm going to push you." It was like from 5th or 6th grade on. I'm going to push you, right? I'm going to ask you every single day, whether you're crying, whether you're happy, whatever your situation is, if this is what you want to do. And whatever your answer is, we're going to go with it. If it's yes, I'm going to continue to do it. If it's no, I'm going to back off. But I'm not going to force you to do something you don't want to do. And so there were days, like from 5th grade, we started training like twice a week, and then 6th grade was maybe 3 times a week, and then we went on and on and on. And but I think at a young age, he definitely wanted me to have like a mindset of always working hard. My dad being on 9 unguaranteed contracts throughout his NBA career, I got to see him at a young age obviously work really hard, and just to see him how hard he worked, which was crazy because he would run in like those sweat like trash bag type bags, and he would go lift, he'd go shoot, he'd go play all within one day, and then do everything again the next day in the summertime. And so seeing that at a young age, I'm not really understanding what it is, but as I got older, once I started to look at my game and start to try and get better, I remember those moments. I was like, damn, like that's what he used to do. And so it was similar. I just think that like when he asked me every single day, I was just like, whatever emotion I was feeling, it was like yes. And so he pushed me. The older I got, like obviously the more conversations we had, like it was like about what I was doing or seeing or wherever. But when I was younger, it was like push to see where I was mentally, to see if he could break me. And it was he helped me just stay mentally strong.
Did you guys play any other sports like growing up or in middle school or high school?
I mean, I played Pop Warner football. Actually, my football coach was Vince Papale.
Oh yeah,
Vince Papale was my football coach, and I played with his son for like 2 or 3 years. But I was ass in football. It was too cold. I'd rather play an indoor sport anyway. I played baseball. I played soccer, but I mean, I moved like 6 or 7 times before I went to college, and so I had to like get up and find a new team. And basketball was just the easiest thing to just do for me, and obviously I loved it more.
I tried football. I didn't really like it because I was like a little bit of a bigger kid when I was younger, so they kept wanting me to play offensive line, and it was no fun. So I kind of gave up on that one. I played baseball middle school to like my freshman year of high school, then I stopped, and it was just basketball.
Eli, what was we were doing some research, saw that you just mentioned obviously too that you played basketball in high school. What was your game like?
My game, I could score 20 one game and then not shoot the next game. It was like the motion offense. You had to pass 5 times before you could shoot, like that style. So like I would have to get open on screens or back cuts and that kind of stuff. I was good passer, good kind of seeing everything going on. But like I wasn't shooting threes. I wasn't creating a lot of like one-on-one shots. I was kind of layups and free throws, offensive rebounds. Kind of the ugly game, but get in there.
Sounds like a Princeton offense to me. Not gonna lie.
Exactly. It was like the Princeton offense. That's what our coach.
It sounds like you were an ethical player though. Like you didn't do anything. Like you didn't try to like manipulate the game to get to the free throw line or to get your shots or anything. Like you played the game the right way.
Eli, when you played football, did you try?
It sounds like a shot was taken there a little bit.
It was definitely a shot. When you got on the field, right? Obviously, there's games within the game. You're trying to manipulate the game to have an advantage for your team. Correct.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have to hear.
Definitely. If you can find little loopholes, you can find, ways to be successful or hey, get your points, get wins. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Unethical, my ass.
I'm not calling you. I'm just saying, those are the words on the street. I would never, Eli. I would never call him.
No. I knew you were kind of quoting someone else, third parties. What was that? Yeah, not you. Not after that unbelievable kind of captain note you left him. I would never expect that from you.
Exactly.
And that introduction you gave me. I mean, everything's just top quality here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, Josh, how would you say your workouts compare as the season gets closer versus maybe earlier in the summer? Like, is there a difference? Does that difference show up in your whoop stats, your HRV recovery, anything like that?
I think it's a little different because I feel like I started getting a little bit more active and I started having more kind of a higher strain towards the end of the summer, beginning of the summer. Um, I'm getting shots up, but I'm not working out 5 days a week or 6 days a week doing, full skill stuff and all that. I kind of ease my body into it. And I'll do 3 days a week of heavy skill work and then a couple days of just shooting and then go to 4 days and go to 5 days. I don't really play, 5-on-5 or open runs that much in the summer until, September when you're getting kind of ready for camp. So now the workouts are definitely starting to get a little bit more cardio based and, getting up and down the floor, obviously still lifting weights, but making sure I'm in good shape to start training camp and making sure my body's strong to start the season. It kind of lasts me throughout the season because it's hard to, for weight wise and strength to continue to climb during the season is mostly about maintaining. So I'm trying to get as strong as I can until then and then just maintain it.
So would you say as we get closer to the season, if you were to look at like your whoop, would you say that your recovery is generally higher as it gets closer? You're sort of giving your body a little bit of a rest before things really heat up?
Yeah, I think so. It's, in the summer, sometime in Miami, it's, go out, we go out to dinner. We don't really go out that much, but we like going to dinners and, having some wine and cocktails and stuff like that. And I was, getting to September, it's more so, everything is gearing up, preparing for the season. So my sleep is, I'm getting more sleep. I'm in bed earlier. I'm getting, the work in that I'm getting naps in during the day. I'm doing more recovery work, work to make sure my body is ready, for the season. But I'm not doing, as much, going out to, Miami. Sometimes you'll be at dinner till 11, 12 o'clock. So not really doing that too much anymore. So it's really more so about, that cardio, getting my body ready for the season, but also making sure I'm giving my body time to rest and recover.
Yeah. And obviously, like I said, we just got back from like a long weekend vacation, but it was a family vacation. So it wasn't really, we weren't, like I said, going out or anything like that, but it was nice because I would say that if you look at our recovery and sleep really over the last like 4 or 5 days, it's got to be pretty nice because we just kept it low key, really didn't do anything, didn't work out. So the recovery is for sure high.
Yeah, no, mine, I actually did my Whoop actually ran out of charge and I didn't charge it the night. Cause I was like, we were on, like I said, we were on a long vacation. I was sick all day yesterday. And it kind of started the night before and my Whoop died. And I'm just like I had no energy to like go find my Whoop charger and do that. And I just knew my recovery would be bad. The next day, I was sick. I barely slept. The next day, I was tossing and turning the whole time, like sick the whole time. So I'm happy I actually don't have my recovery for those, 2 nights that I was sick because I probably would be in the red. I probably would have been like 1%. I probably would have had to hide the metrics. So luckily, I was so fatigued that I just didn't even like try to go find my charger because I didn't want to see what my recovery was going to be.
Makes sense. Awesome. Well, join Whoop for free for 1 month at join.whoop.com/roommates. Eli, what's it been like for your family to see Arch doing his thing at Texas? Obviously, he had 2 touchdowns last game. How has that been?
Yeah,
and obviously broke some records of yours.
Yeah, he broke all my high school records and Peyton's. Which hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for records being broken, and we, he's my nephew, so I'm always try to help him and support him in any way. So I was excited to see him get some action this weekend and get in the game, have a couple good drives, get a rushing touchdown, get his first passing touchdown. So I sent him a text. He had a great game. His last play or his last pass, I kind of looked at it. It was, he tried to throw it out. It seemed like he tried to force it out to the left. And from the TV version, I couldn't see the coverage, but it looked like looked like he maybe forced it or had a misread. He came to the sideline and Sark, the head coach, is kind of in his ear. Looked like he was ripping him a little bit, and so I sent him a text, Arch a text. I was like, hey, good game, made some nice plays. Hey, last play. Looks like they kind of rolled the cover 2. You try to force an out to the single receiver instead of working the 3 receiver concept to the right. He's like, yes, exactly right. I misread that one, which is good. Hey, you're a young quarterback getting your first action. You're gonna have mistakes. You're gonna have misreads. Every opportunity is a learning experience, and I've been there before where you're like, hey, I got this play. I'm going to work my receiver to the left, and all of a sudden they play a defense and disguise something, and you still do it even just because you predetermine. So I just kind of talked about, hey, don't have a plan, but don't predetermine what you're going to do. And then so when something changes or hey they change up the defense, just have your progression of what you're going to go through. So, but proud of him, how hard he's worked. He's into it. He puts in the work. He puts in the grind. He's a good kid, and look forward to getting to see him play some more this season and next season.
When you guys hear Eli talk about like reads and everything like that, because for me, I'm like, maybe it's because I grew up around basketball and I'm around you guys, but when I hear high level basketball talk, a lot of it makes sense. When I hear Eli talk, I'm like, quarterback has to be the most cerebral position in any sport, really ever.
I was before we got on, I was just playing NCAA football in my little glory mode, road to glory as a quarterback. And I'm playing. My guy's in Michigan. I'm playing Ohio State. 1 versus 2. And when I told you I've had to quit this game twice because the first one I threw 3 interceptions. The next one I threw an interception, and then I scrambled on the next possession and I fumbled. But I tell you, I can't read coverage. Like I can't. I suck at this game. I should have been like a running back or something where I didn't have to make these reads because literally all I do is throw drag routes to my tight end and hopefully he can get like 10 yards or scramble because I can't read a coverage to save my life.
Hey, every quarterback loves to have a good tight end. That's why I like Kelsey. Tight end that's the safe guy. Like you don't have to read coverages in the middle of the field. It's a man zone. Is a guy open, not open? Outside, there's a lot going on. Receivers on coverages, they can double guys. They can do a lot of stuff. In the middle, it's a lot of one-on-one. Even if it is zone defense, it's still one-on-one. That's why you love your tight ends. Work the tight end all day. That's good.
Yeah, that's what the JB's like Eli. He does all that. He reads the coverage and all that. I'm just like Jeremy Shockey. I just like go and just like go over the middle.
I'm open.
Throw it to me. I'm gonna catch it. Exactly.
Just put the hands up. We don't get the ball. I'm open.
Exactly. That's it. Now I'm just thinking. I'm like, just know I'm going to be over the middle. If you read the coverage and you throw it at me, I'll catch it. We'll be good.
I'll catch it. There you go. You're the tight end. I like it.
Exactly. Everybody needs a good tight end.
Yeah.
But I am curious because your first number 1 pick in any sport we've had on the pod. JB was 33. I was 30. Matt was undrafted.
Why'd you have to throw that? It's like
you said Matt was undrafted.
Yeah, Matt was undrafted. What was that process? Yeah, he's still waiting. What was that process like for you? Like, how many teams are you working now? I vaguely remember like a little bit of the Eli Draft, process / story, but
you were 7.
You're 7.
Huh?
Wasn't
half of it like, yo, he's not going there?
Yes. So
JB, I was a young boy, but I remember. It was the Chargers, wasn't it?
The Chargers had the first pick, and
I told you I remember.
I politely asked them if they would just not draft me with the first pick, and they didn't. They didn't think that was very nice of me to say that, and so they they kind of broke the news and told everybody I'd asked them not to pick me, and So that was stressful. Like, it's supposed to be an exciting time. You're going to the NFL. I didn't really care like where I was drafted. I didn't care about going one or being a certain number. I just, didn't feel like that was going to be the right spot for me, and wouldn't have as good a chance to be successful there and so I tried to dictate kind of where I wanted to go and see if it would work. And it did. The Chargers ended up drafting me, and like basically like 30 or 40 minutes later, the Giants had drafted Phillip Rivers, and then we traded. But they like had that worked out before. I didn't know that though. So I was like 40 minutes of doing interviews as a Charger, dealing with all this, and then got traded to the Giants, and was happy to come to New York, just because the Giants and their New York, and the Giants had just a history of just success and great ownership and great teams and just a great culture. And so I was excited to come here, and there you go. The rest is history.
Am I reading correctly too that they used that trade they ended up getting Sean Merriman because of it?
They did. So
it's a win-win.
Sean Merriman was a beast, and they end up the Chargers turned it around pretty quickly. They had Drew Brees already. They drafted him 2 years before. He ended up playing well like the next couple of years there and became a Pro Bowler. Phillip Rivers sat for 2 years. Drew got hurt and then went to New Orleans after. Sean Merriman was a beast. Damian Tomlinson was there, was just coming around. I remember like on my interview, when I was going through the process working out for San Diego, they're like, "Hey, we got this guy. He actually played basketball in college, but he's going to be an unbelievable player. He's a tight end. Antonio Gates is his name." I'm like, "Yeah, right. Like a basketball player, never really played college. Like, what are the chances this guy's any good? Like, no one ever heard of him, never seen him. He was a practice squad guy." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Like, this is what we're dealing with." Sure enough, the guy, comes one of the all-time great tight ends in the history. But, they put it together and ended up being, hey, playing the AFC Championship games and having a good squad. But at the time, I didn't know. It just didn't seem like the right vibe for me.
I didn't realize. So I guess your first year you backed up Kurt Warner, and then you started your second year. What was that like? Sort of backing him up, learning from him, shaping on the team.
It was great. It was super helpful for me to sit. I sat like the first 9 games of my rookie year, and then became the starter, week 10 of that year. So I think it was helpful sitting those 9 games, watching a veteran quarterback, how he prepared, how he got ready for each game, learning the different styles of defenses going on, what plays worked well against different styles. And just seeing how he played the game and handle all the situations. And then I got in. It wasn't pretty at first. Had some rough games. Had a 0 quarterback rating against Baltimore. I felt like Josh in his college football game, I guess, just throwing lots of interceptions, getting frustrated. But I think the only way to learn is to go through those experiences and go get live action. And so I got a little bit better each week, got comfortable, and then started the next year, and we went 11-5 the next year, won the NFC East, and didn't play awesome, but played good enough to win games and getting the feel for it and just making those improvements. So it was definitely helpful to sit behind Kurt, but I'm also happy I played some that first year to just understand what it takes, what the preparation takes to get ready for each week.
Josh, what was the topic of conversation last year? It was like basketball players versus like football players. Like, could basketball players come play football or versus
was it the Austin Rivers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was the topic?
Basically, yeah, how many basketball players go play football, and then how many like football players can play basketball.
Eli, if you could 5 players that play basketball that you think could play football, and then 5 football players who you think could play basketball.
I mean, I saw LeBron played a little high school football. I mean, you think about to have have a 6'7", 260-pound guy. Like, you probably find a spot for him to play the receiver or put him at free safety or something. He's got some range. I mean, it's just like such a, just going old school, like an Allen Iverson, or, I think he played some I remember seeing Allen Iverson play some high school football, like running the veer and running the option. He was pretty shifty guy. So I think a lot of basketball players could shift over to football, because football, like, you don't have to have a very specific skill. It's not like, hey, you have to have run 1,000 routes, and like, if you can run and you can jump, or you have some physicalness to you, like, we can find a spot for you on a football field somewhere. Like, you got to have a little toughness to you, and then if you have the work mentality, we can work those things out. So I think there's definitely some guys that could transition to a tight end, to a defensive guy, and make some plays. I think football guys going to play basketball. You have some guys who can run and jump and do the dunks, but can they, just make all the shots and do all that? That's the difference. Can they sit outside and make enough threes and do those things? I think a lot of them couldn't do it, and that's why they're playing football.
Jimmy Graham played a lot of basketball, didn't he?
He played in
Miami.
Miami.
So he's probably up there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a guy who did play, but there's probably wasn't good enough. Hey, saw the future. Hey, not good enough. I'm 6'5". He's not 6'9". Those 6'5" guys that can run and jump. Hey, if he's physical and he can block a little bit, he was an unbelievable tight end for a long time. Just range, could jump up, go over defenders, and he was a mismatch. It was such an advantage him on linebackers, because he was so much more athletic and bigger size.
We had Chad Ochocinco on the pod, and he's convinced that he can beat both of these guys one-on-one.
Of course. I think, one-on-one, there's like not necessarily with Chad, but with some of these guys, maybe one-on-one, there's a chance that some of these guys could beat some basketball guys.
Probably Josh, for sure. For sure.
You can only be an ethical scorer one-on-one.
That would be,
so we'll see.
Exactly. That would be that would be like a good show, maybe, like NFL versus basketball, one-on-one basketball. And then, that could be good. You're
Josh, remember, there's a video of me ethically kicking your ass that is not out there publicly yet.
Oh, on one-on-one hoops?
Eli, it was a friendly game. It was after practice. I'm just out there trying to have fun, getting clips for the kids video we were doing. But there was no substance to it at all.
I believe you, Josh.
Man,
all right. One day the video will come out one day.
Eli, I do have, before we go back into NFL, I do have a question for you. If you played now in college, was right now, how much NIL money do you think you could get?
I don't know. Were y'all part of the NIL? Or was that before you? Did y'all have any NIL? It was all before, right? Y'all partake in that.
I wish.
The whole NIL thing is I have mixed emotions about it. I'm fine with college guys getting paid, because I see like the business side of this thing, and schools are making a ton of money, and there's TV rights, and there's so much going on that they should be rewarded, because they're on TV, they're selling jerseys, they're selling tickets, and it's a great product, and they should be financially rewarded. I'm good with that. The whole transferring thing so easily kind of bothers me, that like, hey, you play a year, you have success, and it's like, all right, F you, I'm going over here to play now, because they're going to pay me, $100,000 more, or whatever the number is. It's just, I feel like there's zero loyalty to your college now. And I'm sure this probably came up with, I don't know if it came up with you guys, but when I was, thinking about where I wanted to go to college, there was like some thought of, hey, if I go here and I, never become the starter, or I don't play a down of football, will I be happy at this school? Do I like my teammates? Do I like my coach? Do I like the atmosphere where I'm going to. And I don't think anybody is making a decision based on that anymore. They're basically like, how much money am I going to make right now? It's all a financial decision. And if they go and get coached and the coach like yells at them, I feel like they're a little sensitive. They're like, well, I'm just going to leave. This coach is mean. I'm going to go somewhere else. Like they have an easy escape to get out of that scenario instead of like grinding through the process, having some tough times or being coached or having to sit for a year and wait and like earn your spot but the NIL, hey, these guys want to get rewarded and paid or do some endorsements. I'm all for it. I think it's a great opportunity for them. Hopefully they make good decisions. I think if I was 18 years old and someone put a bunch of money in my pocket, would I make good decisions? Probably not. So hopefully these guys can make better decisions than I were. I think players now have a lot, more conscious of their decision making, social media, everything going on. Like they know if they screw up, it's going to be out there and it's out there forever. So they have that mentality where I think when I was going through, there's no social media, there was no camera phone. You could kind of make a lot of bad decisions and make mistakes and no one would know about it.
Do you think NIL is the reason a lot of these like legendary coaches are just getting out of the game, like they're retiring and then they're done with it?
Yeah, because I think 100%, because they're just, a lot of these guys were great recruiters. They go in, they have a great program, they have a great culture there, and they recruit, a style of player that they want. That's, it matches the character and the talent, is going to fit the mold of this. And all right, boom, I put a lot of time into this kid. We got him. He's coming to our school. We got him for the next 4 years, and we can groom him. We can work him. We can, turn him into the player that he wants to become. And then, now you got to recruit him again after their freshman year. Hey, I know I didn't play, coach, but I had a great spring. You said I made a lot of improvements. I'd like to renegotiate my contract. They're not free agents every year. They're free agents twice a year. Like especially in football, they're free agents like after the season and then again after the spring. So if they don't get enough playing time in the spring, they're going to go into the portal. Even if they're doing well, they go to the portal just to, kind of get re-recruited, hoping that their own school pays them more money.
Someone would do, yeah, for sure.
And so like that's just not that's not the right way of doing this. And you're getting agents involved. You're getting, I know there's always kind of maybe been agents or people in these young people's ear telling they should be doing this or that. But now like they're listening more, I think. And so you could just be getting a lot of bad advice or people in your ear worrying about things that maybe aren't the most important thing, instead of just, hey, working on getting an education, becoming a better player at whatever, you've got a scholarship to go play at this university, like go earn that scholarship instead of, so concerned about, how much money you're getting paid. So that's the only thing that bothers me a little bit.
Was there like a school or a coach that came to you and pitched their school and the situation that you were like, damn, I really, really, really like this place, but then obviously chose Ole Miss instead? But was there like a place that you were like, damn, I really see myself here, like I could really make this decision to go here?
Yeah, I was very close to going to Texas. Mac Brown was the head coach there. He's at North Carolina now, where he started, and so like Texas, like Austin, just the atmosphere, the facilities, everything they had going there. Ricky Williams was there at the time. They had a Heisman guy. They were good. They were, and so just like the whole thing, and was probably going there. And then, David Cutcliffe was the offense coordinator at Tennessee. He was Payton's offensive coordinator. Had a great relationship with him. He left Tennessee and became the head coach at Ole Miss, and then kind of they did a full court press on me to come to Ole Miss. And my dad went to Ole Miss, so I grew up a fan there. But was looking at a lot of schools and looking at different places for college, and wanted to see, make sure I was going to the right fit, right offense, the right things. And I love Coach Cutcliffe's offense. I thought he could make me a better quarterback. He had trained a lot of great quarterbacks with Payton, Heath Schuler, like putting guys in the NFL. And so I just felt that I was going to be happy at this school, and I was going to get coached well and become a better player there. And so that's what ultimately led me to go to Ole Miss and not Texas.
Speaking of coaching, I think when you look at a lot of the great franchises that were great for a while, the common thread is that they usually have obviously a great quarterback and a great coach, and oftentimes they're very much in sync. So like, what was it about you and Coach Coughlin that made those 15 years kind of so great and allowed you guys to see so much success?
I think Coach Coughlin is very intense. He has like his quirks and his rules. You have to be 5 minutes early to every meeting. So every meeting, if it says we have a meeting at 7:45, it really starts at 7:40. And if you're not like in your chair and ready to go, he's going to be there at like 7:35, like sitting at the front, just like waiting for everybody to get there. And if you're late, like you're getting in trouble. If you don't practice like hard and you don't study and know what's going on, he's not going to like you. And so if you show up on time, you like football and you work really hard, he doesn't have a problem with you, and he appreciates you and loves you, and you have a great relationship. And like some people had a hard time with that, and I grew up with that mentality. That's like what you're supposed to do: enjoy your work really hard, and be respectful, and be on time to things, or be early. And so I did those things, and we had a great communication on the work part of it, on getting better. I took to coaching. I didn't mind being yelled at. I didn't love being yelled at, but I like being coached. I always told my quarterback coach, coach me up. Like every day I should learn something, or I should see something I made a mistake on that I need to fix. If you're not telling me something every day, then I feel like we wasted a day, and I'm not going to have something to work on the next day to get better. And so I appreciate being coached, and he liked coaching. And so we got along well that way. And so I think there's a lot of guys that don't like being coached necessarily anymore. They think they have it all figured out. And when you try to get on them, they get a little sensitive. And so I think that's a quality, with a lot of good players, great players, they want to be coached up, and that's kind of what drives them to get better every day.
So you guys won in 08 and 12, right? So obviously 08 was the helmet catch, but before that, you always see clips of like Super Bowl week. How hard is it at times to focus on the game when you have so many different media obligations and whatever you guys have to do that whole week?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, you have 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, before like the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, so which is long. Like normally you have 1 week before every game, so now you have like a few days to plan, and your schedule's a little bit off. Like we're so used, like our work week is the same every single week. I mean, we're always at home. We're in our own facility. We practice at our own place. Like every Monday is the same, every Friday is the same, and the only difference is on Saturday is, are you traveling to a game or are you staying home at the game? Like that's the only difference for 20 weeks in a row. And then all of a sudden, like this week, the first week you're kind of at home, but you're getting tickets and where are people staying, and you have some practices, and then the next week you go on Monday, you have like the hoopla media day on Tuesday. And then you really kind of start your week over again. And Wednesday through Sunday are the same, but you're in a hotel. You don't have your own facility. You're taking buses to practice. Your family's kind of at a different hotel. So like everything's just out of whack a little bit. And so that's probably the hardest part is trying to keep that same routine when you're in a different place. And like on Thursday after practice, I would always kind of get a massage and get stretched and do all these things like, hey, my guy's in New Jersey. Like, how do I do that again? Am I flying them to Arizona? Am I getting a new person there on Friday nights? I'd always, go to dinner with my wife. Like, where am I going to dinner at this place? What's going to be a good spot? Like, you're just out of your comfort level a little bit. And so it's just trying to keep it as normal as possible, even though, you're about to play the biggest game of your life and everything's out of whack. And you're watching, you don't have your normal film in your practice facility. You're like in a hotel room, and it's not always open at times. It's just, everything's a little difficult. So it wasn't so much the media and the things going around it. It was just being in a different place, like when you're in the most critical moments of your career.
What was that 2-year stretch like where Payton wins it in 2007 and then you win it the next year? I mean, how does that? It's like inexplainable for a family.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think seeing Payton win it definitely gave a little extra motivation for me. I saw, the permanent smile on that big face of his, for like a whole year, and it's like everybody congratulating him, and I'm around, and I got to hear all this, and I got to see him just being very proud and happy, as he should be, as everybody is. And I'm like, I want that. Like, I want that feeling of just being, the world champions, and to being the best in that year. You're the best team, and just the permanent smile on your face for that 6 months until the season starts again. And it was definitely a little motivation of that off season, of the work and dedication and coming together and trying to do it. Now, I didn't know it could actually be done, but just trying to, get better from the year before, and make those strides to improvement, to get that same feeling.
And to do it against the 16-0 Patriots, who are on the brink of like a record-setting season.
Yeah, I don't think, I think Tom wasn't too happy about that one. I never bring anything up to Brady. He's got 7 Super Bowls and everything, but he brings up that year, that game. He's still, I think, a little bitter about that one, because they would go down as the greatest team of all time. And, and even though they might have been, they can't say that, and they can't, because they didn't win the championship, and they lost that game.
So what was going through your mind during that play, that helmet catch play? End of the game, fourth quarter, need a drive to win it. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, just kind of like, hey, this is not good. Like, this is not a good situation we're in here, right here. It's third down. It's like 3rd and 5. I'm about to get sacked. If I get sacked, it's gonna be 4th and 10. And it's not. We don't just need 10 yards. We still got to score a touchdown. Like, time is running out, and scramble out. See, Tyree in the middle. I mean, it's not the perfect scenario to throw a ball in the middle of the field. You have one receiver, and they have like 4 defenders kind of around. The ball gets bounced. If it gets tipped at all, it's intercepted. Game over. And so, but it was, hey, we were running out of time. You had to try to make a play. So gave my guy a chance, and I didn't know if he really caught it. I didn't know if it hit the ground. It was a lot going on, but he had unbelievable effort by David, pulling it off the helmet, holding on to it. Rodney Harrison hanging all over him. We had to call a timeout, see the replay, and sure enough, ball never hit the ground. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I knew you were going to win it after that." I'm like, I didn't. We still had to score a touchdown. we still had like 25 more yards. We couldn't settle for the field goal. We were down 4. It was touchdown or bust.
We always do a segment of just some fan questions, Eli. So what do we have first?
My favorite receiver? Can I do a favorite receiver to throw to? The one that's open. I really don't care. I don't care. I don't have favorites. Get open, I'll throw it to you. It's that simple.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Mess. That's the answer to your question. We kind of talked about this one, but Hemi Hyatt, what was the nerves leading up to the Super Bowl 42 against the undefeated Patriots?
I mean, I think you're more nervous just about playing in a Super Bowl. Like, this is the biggest game. I think they should have been more nervous. Like, we were the underdogs. No one gave us a chance. We're 12-point underdogs. We had played them the last game of the regular season and played them pretty close. We had a lead going into the fourth quarter. So we felt we could beat them. Like, you go into every game, you always feel like you can win. We truly felt like we were a play away from beating them the last game of the regular season. And hey, we make one play, we can win this thing.
At Clutch, I would say at Clutch Master 88, most challenging defensive player you faced?
I didn't face him that often, thank goodness. But Ed Reed at free safety was just a ball hawk. Like, he was all over the place. Like, he just, like, you're just scared to throw the ball anywhere near him. Like, you didn't want to throw. Like, if he was just like roaming, like, you just throw the other side. If he was like one-on-one, maybe you could go to him, but like he just got the tip balls, and if you got anywhere near him, he was gonna intercept it. So Ed Reed for sure.
Eli, so you in the NFC East, you got like what, a couple years against Sean Taylor?
Yeah, Sean Taylor was a beast. He would just take your head off. He was just, he was gonna hit you. Same thing, ball hawk, like anywhere near the ball, and if he got it, he was gonna take it to the house. And so he was, just a guy you always had to be aware of. If he was blitzing, wherever he was on the field, like, hey, where's Taylor? Where's 21?
I have a fan question from me, right? At Jalen Brunson 1. The most memorable game for you for the wrong reasons?
2007, so the Super Bowl year. We were about to, we got off to a great start. We were 6-2, rolling, also in 3-game losing streak, and then we play the Vikings. Hey, let's get back on roll here. Home game, throw 4 interceptions, 2 return back for touchdowns. Like things are going very bad, and it was just, like, oh my God, like this can be bad. Like it's my 4th year, Coughlin's year. Like, if we don't turn it around and win the next week in Chicago, win the next couple, make the playoffs, make a run, like I'm probably out of New York. Like those next few games dictate my career from being a 4-year career to a 16-year career and winning championships. And you just, how fragile this game can be, or a sports career, just like on sometimes a few games can make the difference.
Crazy.
We always do a picture me scrolling, Eli, to end up. So I know you're in a little bit of a time crunch. So this is a quote to our audio listeners about Eli talking about the Philadelphia fans, because how ruthless they are. You go there, a 9-year-old kid is giving you the double finger, not a thumbs up, not a we're number one. And he said something about my mom. I had to Google what it was. It's a different culture. So
yeah, that was Jalen. That was little Jalen.
Yeah, Jalen was that 9-year-old kid giving you the double fingers. But Eli, we appreciate you coming on the Roommates podcast, man. It was a blessing to have such an extravagant, an exceptional guest. Good one, right?
That was a good one.
The outro was pretty good. Yeah. So we appreciate you, and for everyone else listening, make sure you guys tune in for episodes every Thursday.
Appreciate you, Eli. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. That was fun.